Welcome to our weekly discussion of all things current in California politics. I'm Walt Gray. Joining us this week is reporter Emily Hoeven, a political expert for CalMatters.org. Emily, we're lucky. The rainy season apparently has finally started to begin, but we're still in a drought emergency. What's the governor doing about water restrictions?
Yeah, so the governor has extended the drought emergency to all of California. Since July, it had already applied to 50 of the state's 58 counties, but he recently extended that statewide. And while that does kind of allow state agencies to make it easier to try to address the drought and to provide drinking water to residents, there are still many experts who are concerned it doesn't go far enough, considering that most of the state has been under these restrictions for months and they only reduced their water use 5% in August compared to the state's goal of 15%. And so they're saying that every second that passes by where we don't have those mandates in place is a second wasted, although there is some bright light on the horizon in the form of rain. And people are hoping that the rain that's going to come over the state for the next week or so will actually potentially bring fire season to a halt in the northern and central part of the state.
Another issue that lawmakers are going to have to deal with, or maybe not, is regarding school attendance and COVID restrictions. What do you see happening here?
Yeah, so we recently had a fiscal consultant basically tell all the school districts, you need to either bite the bullet now and make budget cuts, or you're going to have a lot more painful decisions later. And that's because of the fact that although the state has infused a record amount of money into public education, many schools are reporting drastic drops in attendance, either from parents that are homeschooling their kids or don't feel safe sending their kids back to campus with COVID, or who oppose the governor's, potential the vaccine mandate that's going to go into effect next year, most likely. And they're also seeing large surges in chronic absenteeism, where kids are just not logging into class or they're not showing up on campus. And so if that continues, next year, schools could see a massive budget deficit unless state lawmakers step in to kind of create a mechanism where they won't be financially penalized for those changes.
Another hot topic that you and I have been talking about is the SEIU leader being booked in jail. Now, the SEIU is a huge union in this state, and they did donate a lot of money to the governor's campaign to stay in office. What do you see happening with this?
Yeah, so the director of SIU California, the largest labor union in California, and her husband were booked into county jail on various charges. As it turns out, the attorney general, Rob Bonta, had filed these criminal charges against the director and her husband, but they didn't really become public until the Sacramento Bee broke a story on these charges. And it's definitely a bit of bad publicity for the union. They had given $6 million to the governor to beat back the recall. And so now you have some Republican lawmakers and national committee calling on the governor to give back that money and also to explain why the charges were not made public until after the election. And some other crazy news, Mark Ridley Thomas, who is a Los Angeles City Council member, was also indicted on federal charges of bribery and other things like that. And so there has been a lot of talk about whether the city council will try to oust him from the city council. They had introduced a motion to consider doing that, but it's kind of been a bad couple of weeks for fraud and top California political leaders. So we're going to have to see what happens.
Yeah, indeed. I know you're going to stay on top of that. Emily, thank you. Appreciate that. CalMatters is a nonpartisan news organization explaining California policies and politics. Find their work at CalMatters.org. You can also sign up for Emily's newsletter there.